Back in the Oddsbreaker. Frank Trigg, of course, has Dan Henderson getting ready to fight Daniel Cormier coming up on May 24th. UFC 173, only about a 2-hour drive from your house in California over to Las Vegas. Cormier is coming in, from San Jose, technically about an 8-hour drive, but still, both you guys are kind of going to be locals. There's no hometown territory here on this one. So most of the other guys I've talked to, it's like old school versus new school. Obviously, you're being old school, if you weren't sure which way people were going. What's Cormier bring that you haven't seen yet in anybody else?
Well, I've fought wrestlers before, but yeah, he's got a little different style of wrestling than most wrestlers. And he's a freestyle guy, but he doesn't shoot a lot from the outside. He kind of does most of his wrestling from in tight, which is kind of what I'm used to. But he grabs the legs. Coming from Greco, we don't do that. So, it's just a little different style, and looks like he really has worked on his hands a lot, and he's dangerous on his feet. So, I think it'll be interesting.
Have you brought guys in to help you out? Because I know now you're trying to deal with a high-class wrestler that can shoot. I know you have a lot of high-class punchers in your camp, but did you bring anybody else that could wrestle to that level?
I had a couple wrestlers come in and help me out a little bit. Nothing, probably not quite on his level. Most of the top guys that wanted to come in, it was just bad timing with nationals and then the trials coming up too. So, I had Jake Varner come out before, and he couldn't make it because of that as well. So he's back to wrestling this year too. So, it's. And after watching video of Cormier and how he uses wrestling in MMA, he doesn't do a whole lot of shots from the outside. So he's a lot different than most guys who I'd bring in anyway. So,
who have been your training partners for this one? The guys who are there every day for you.
Sokaju got back in the room a little bit, which is good because he's. Not for the wrestling part, but just his quickness. He's real quick with his hands. Nice jab. He's more technical on his feet than Cormier is, but mostly for his quickness. Had a couple of just big wrestlers in there, and just the normal guys. Jesse Taylor's another wrestler that's in there that isn't bad, and I had a few guys that are injured. Tarek Safadin's injured, and Virgil Zwicker's injured as well. So some of my guys were injured, but I got some really good workouts during the camp, and I'm pretty happy with where I'm at.
Have you done anything different during this training camp than you have in the past?
Just focused on just two of the aspects that I think will make the most difference in this fight, which is striking and wrestling. Didn't really have to focus too much on submission defense, I don't think, but it's just like any other fight. It's not a wrestling match, but I feel real comfortable where I'm at right now with Cormier's style and what I've got prepared for a game plan.
He's obviously the younger version, of the two wrestlers. He's both of you Olympians, both you're highly talented coming through and coming up in the ranks. Obviously, you've got a big overhand right. Besides his wrestling, what do you think is the other thing that you kind of have to watch out for when you're competing against him?
Well, with anybody, you got to watch out for getting punched in the wrong spot. Or the right spot, I should say. But he's dangerous on his feet. He's finished some tough guys with strikes, and he's real dangerous when he's pressuring forward. So I just got to make sure that I'm returning the favor and pressuring him as well.
What one of his fights you look at is you think you got the most, you learn the most about him, in his last recent history?
I don't know. I mean, it was kind of tough you know, a bunch of them are different. A lot of the guys he's fighting are different. You know, the one that probably would have given me more was his last fight, but it was so quick. You know, Roy Nelson, you know, showed me a little bit too. I mean, I think that was a good one to watch. And then, you know, Josh Barnett, Frank Mir. I mean, for the most part, a lot of those guys, they're heavyweights. They're stronger. They're bigger. Not as good as wrestlers and slower.
Yeah.
I'd like to think they were slower than me, but you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just going to be a different fight. It's tough to look at those fights and tell you exactly how this fight's going to go. You know, I have a good idea based on those fights of what he likes to do and what he's going to do, and just a matter of, you know, getting in his face and landing some punches on him.
Are you finding it hard to balance, you know, because you said you have kids too, and you got some daughters that are some pretty high level softball players, so you know you're out there.
Volleyball.
Volleyball. Excuse me. You have a bunch. You know, you have to do volleyball all the time. Plus, you have to do with your training practices and everything else. Are you finding it hard now because the kids are getting older to balance that? Dad's got to train, then they go watch them play volleyball.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, when I'm at home, it's tough to get everything in, and especially during training camps, it makes it tougher. You know, Rachel helps me out quite a bit and keeps my diet in the right spot and helps me with the kids. So it's, you know, much easier with that, but it's still tough. It still wears you out.
Tell me about your diet. What's your weight at right
now? You know, just probably a little lighter than last camp because I didn't have any time off. Maybe a pound or two lighter. So I'm 204, 203. Now, I typically walk around about 204. You know, I don't check my weight that often, but I checked it a week or two ago. It was about 203 and a half after practice.
Have you been lifting to specifically deal with, you know, because Cormier in the cage come that night, it's probably going to be up, you know, 225, 230, which isn't that much of a difference for you. Most guys, that's a huge amount of difference, but it's not that for you. But have you been lifting to kind of get ready for that extra heat, that extra weight? On you?
No, I mean, I lift every camp. You know, I haven't done anything different as far as weight training goes. I've fought heavyweights before, and you know, I don't think the weight is going to be the factor in this fight. It's more about being in the right position and defending takedowns and not getting hit, and you know, putting him on his back, putting him against the fence, and knocking him out.
Who's been helping you out with your striking for this one?
You know, a couple of years ago, my striking coach moved back to Brazil. So, you know, he still comes out and corners me. Especially my last two fights being in Brazil was nice. But, yeah, I've got a little bit different guy this time helping me out. You know, he's more traditional boxing, but he's great. You know, his name is Bashir, and he's from San Diego.
He comes up from San Diego, or you meet him halfway?
Yeah, he comes up from San Diego. So a couple days a week.
How far is San Diego from you?
45 minutes.
Oh, okay. Have you, because the fires are down there, have you had any problems with the smoke coming up your way?
Not yet, but we can see the smoke.
Okay. Because some of the other guys I talked to down in Orange County were having some problems breathing, especially the guys in San Diego. They're suffering because the smoke is everywhere. It's getting hard to get training sessions in. I don't know if it's bothering you guys up there yet.
No, not yet. I mean, they're watching. We've had fire trucks go through here, just kind of making sure and checking out the areas, but you know, they're not evacuating anybody over here yet. But we got, you know, it's a ways away. I heard the freeways are closed, which is, you know, it means it's getting a little closer to Temecula. But yeah, I don't think it'll make it quite this far up here.
All right, Dan, well, thanks for coming out here with MMA Oddsbreaker. I appreciate it. 173, obviously, it's in my hometown, so I'll be there. I'll watch this one ringside. Give me a call once you get in town.
All right.
Because this time you don't have to cut weight. We can actually go eat before you actually have to go make weight. So.
Sounds good, Frank. Thank you.
You got it, Dan. Talk to you soon, bud.
Have a good one.